Welcome to a space designed for deep rest. Let yourself settle in, allowing the gentle rhythm of my voice to become your anchor tonight. We are here to explore the weight we carry, the invisible burden of worry, the restless energy that keeps us awake, and the anxiety that often feels like an unwelcome guest in our bodies. Before we can release anything, we must first acknowledge it. This is not a time for judgment or fighting the feeling. It is a time for gentle recognition. Anxiety rarely announces itself with a loud bang. It often arrives quietly, as a subtle shift in the atmosphere of the body. Perhaps it is a tightness in the chest, a knot just beneath the ribs, or a sudden, restless energy buzzing in the limbs. It might be the shallow rhythm of your breath, quick and strained, signaling that something is unsettled inside. These are not abstract mental concepts. They are physical sensations. They are the body's way of communicating stress, a signal woven into our physical experience. When we are caught up in worry, we tend to ignore these signals, trying to push the discomfort away or distract ourselves with noise. But ignoring a physical sensation does not make it disappear. It often just makes it deeper, cementing itself into our muscles and nervous system. The first step toward peace is to turn our attention inward and simply notice what is present, without immediately attaching stories to it. Let's take a moment now, just noticing the space between where you are and the feeling that arises. Where do you feel this tension? Is it in your jaw? In your shoulders? Notice the breath moving in and out of your body. Feel the sensation of the air touching your skin, the gentle pull of the inhale, and the soft release of the exhale. This simple act of focusing on the physical sensation of breathing is a quiet invitation to step out of the frantic narrative of worry and into the grounded reality of the present moment. Think of this body as a landscape. Right now, we are standing in a place where anxiety resides. We don't need to change the landscape, only observe it. When you acknowledge that tightness in your chest, try not to label it as worry or fear. Just observe it. There is tension in my chest. Then, allow the breath to soften around that area, offering a little bit of space. This recognition, this gentle acknowledgement of anxiety residing in the body, is powerful. It shifts our relationship with the feeling. Instead of being consumed by the emotion, we begin to see it as energy flowing through us, a temporary state that is passing. We are not the anxiety itself. We are the awareness witnessing the anxiety. This distance is where true freedom begins to unfold. The next time worry arises, perhaps tonight or tomorrow, remember this feeling of recognition. Remember that you can notice the physical footprint of stress without being swept away by it. You don't have to resolve the worry immediately. You only have to acknowledge the presence of the feeling in your body and invite the breath to offer a little room for it to simply be. Let the rhythm of your breath guide you back into this gentle space of awareness. Rest here, knowing that you are safe, and that by simply noticing, you begin the profound work of release. Primary keywords: anxiety relief, deep rest meditation, Buddhist wisdom, anxiety in body, calming sleep, letting go of worry. Secondary keywords: gentle meditation, stress relief before sleep, emotional regulation, mindfulness for anxiety, physical relaxation, calm mind. Tags: 20. Anxiety relief, deep rest, sleep meditation, Buddhist wisdom, stress relief, anxiety in body, calming sleep, gentle meditation, mindfulness, emotional regulation, worry release, anxiety management, calm mind, relaxation techniques, before sleep, deep breathing, nervous system, self-compassion, silent horizon. Hashtags: 15. Hashtag anxiety relief, hashtag deep rest, hashtag sleep meditation, hashtag Buddhist wisdom, hashtag mindfulness, hashtag stress relief, hashtag calming, hashtag sleep aid, hashtag gentle mindfulness, hashtag emotional regulation, hashtag letting go, hashtag deep breathing, hashtag relaxation, hashtag self-care, hashtag silent horizon. When we begin this journey, we acknowledge that anxiety is not just a concept floating in our minds. It is a physical experience. It settles in our chests, tightens our shoulders, quickens our pulse. It is the noise of worry demanding attention, pulling us out of the quiet space we are trying to find. But there is another place, deeper and more immediate, where we can anchor ourselves. That place is the breath. The breath is always here. It is the constant companion that flows through us, moment by moment, without judgment or demand. It is the only thing truly happening right now. When worry tries to pull us into a future scenario or drag us into a past regret, we can gently turn our attention back to this simple, physical reality. Think of your breath as an anchor dropped into the present moment. It is a subtle, rhythmic rhythm, a gentle inhale, a soft pause, an exhale. Notice how it moves in and out of your body. Feel the cool air entering your nose, warming as it travels down your throat, and softening as it releases through your mouth. This rhythm is stable. It does not rush. It does not judge. It simply is. When we focus our attention on this anchor, we create a subtle space between us and the swirling noise of anxiety. We are not fighting the worry. We are simply choosing where to place our awareness. We move the focus from the chaotic mental landscape into the simple, tangible reality of the present moment. Let the sensation of the breath become your guide. If the mind begins to race with 1,000 thoughts, gently invite it back to the physical sensation of the inhale. Feel the subtle expansion in your belly. Notice the slow, deliberate return of the exhale. Each breath is an opportunity to reset, to create a tiny pocket of stillness within the midst of motion. This practice is not about stopping the worry. That would be impossible. It is about changing our relationship with the worry. Instead of being swept away by it, we learn to observe it from a place of calm awareness. The breath allows us to step back and watch the anxiety arise and pass, like clouds drifting across the sky. When you feel tension gathering in your chest, pause. Take one slow, deep breath. Feel where the tension resides, perhaps a tightness in the shoulders or a quickness in the heartbeat. And then, with that breath, offer a gentle invitation to soften that area. Let the air flow into the space where the tension lives, and let the exhale carry away some of the gripping. The breath is your secret tool for emotional regulation. It bypasses the frantic thinking and speaks directly to the body's nervous system, signaling safety and calm. By anchoring ourselves in this steady rhythm, we signal to our body that we are safe enough to rest. We allow the physical body to soften its grip on the tension, knowing that there is a steady, reliable rhythm guiding us home. This anchor is always available to you, right here, right now. Whenever the noise becomes too loud, whenever the worry threatens to overwhelm, simply return to the gentle cadence of your breath. Inhale peace, exhale resistance. Let the simple act of breathing be the foundation upon which true stillness can be built. Rest in this rhythm. Rest in the breath. When you feel that gentle rhythm of the breath settling in your chest, allow that awareness to expand just a little further. We have found our anchor, recognizing how the breath can soothe the body's immediate tension. Now, let us turn our attention inward, moving from the physical sensation into the landscape of the mind. Often, when worry arises, the mind immediately jumps into a narrative. It doesn't simply exist as a neutral feeling. It constructs stories about what might happen or what should have happened. These inner narratives, the worries, the judgments, the plans, are powerful forces, but they are not the reality of the moment. Think of your mind as a vast, open sky. The thoughts and anxieties are like the clouds that drift across it. They appear, they gather weight, they shift position, and then they pass. The key is to realize that you are not the sky itself. You are the space in which the sky unfolds. You are the calm, spacious awareness watching the clouds move by. When a thought arises, perhaps a deep concern about a future event or a memory filled with regret, our natural tendency is to immediately fuse with it. We treat the thought as an undeniable fact, treating the worry as if it were an absolute truth demanding immediate action or intense emotional response. But this fusion is where the true weight of anxiety resides. It is not in the event itself, but in our insistence that the event is the reality. We begin the practice of distinguishing by simply observing these inner narratives. Imagine you are sitting quietly on a riverbank, and the thoughts are the ripples moving across the water. You do not need to jump onto every ripple. You just watch them flow. Notice the texture of the thought. Is it sharp and demanding? Is it hazy and speculative? Does it carry an emotional charge of fear or sadness? When you observe a worry, try to mentally place it outside of yourself, seeing it as a temporary mental event rather than an inherent truth about your existence. You can gently label it internally, there is a thought about tomorrow, or there is a feeling of anxiety right now. This simple act of labeling creates a necessary space between the observer, your calm awareness, and the observed, the narrative. This distinction is not about ignoring the thoughts, which is impossible. It is about changing your relationship with them. The thought may still be present, but it no longer has the power to hijack your sense of self or demand that you react immediately. By observing the story as just a story, we create distance. We see that we are not the worry. We are the witness experiencing the worry passing through us. This allows for a profound shift in perspective. When we stop identifying with our narratives, we realize that thoughts are merely mental events, like clouds passing overhead. They are energy, transient patterns of mind, and they do not define the substance of your experience. You are the unchanging field of awareness. The thoughts are just temporary phenomena within that field. As you continue to practice this gentle observation, you cultivate an inner spaciousness. This space is the unshakable core of your being, unaffected by the shifting weather of the mind. It is here, in this quiet clarity, that true stillness resides. Rest in the fact that you are the observer, and let the narratives simply flow by, like soft clouds across a vast, peaceful sky. We have learned how to observe the noise, recognizing that thoughts are just passing events within the vast field of our awareness. Now we move into the deeper practice of meeting those feelings, the worries, the anxieties, the discomforts, not by fighting them, but by offering them a space of open acceptance. This is not about agreeing with what the feeling tells you is true. It is simply about ceasing the internal struggle against the feeling itself. When difficult emotions arise, our natural instinct is often resistance. We immediately try to push the feeling away, to judge it as unwelcome, or to frantically try to fix it. This resistance is like trying to hold water in your hands. It creates tension and only makes the experience more painful. Resistance says, "This shouldn't be here," or "I must not feel this way." Open acceptance invites a different response. It asks us to simply notice the feeling as it is, without needing to label it, judge it, or try to change it immediately. Imagine a heavy fog rolling in. That's the difficult feeling. Resistance is struggling against the fog, trying to force the sun back out immediately. Acceptance is simply noticing that the fog is there. It is allowing the sensation of worry, sadness, or tension to exist within you, without adding the layer of judgment on top of it. This practice requires a gentle softening of our inner stance. Instead of engaging in an internal debate, "Why do I feel this way? How can I stop this?" we simply create space for the feeling to be present. We acknowledge internally, there is anxiety now, or "I notice a tightness in my chest." This acknowledgement is a quiet invitation. It is saying, without words, to the feeling, "I see you. You are here right now." Allowing the feeling to be present does not mean we endorse it or become trapped by it. It means we stop fighting the reality of the moment. We let the emotion flow through us like a river, recognizing its temporary nature. The goal is not to eliminate the feeling instantly. That is impossible and unnecessary, but to change our relationship with it. We shift from being a victim of the feeling to being the open space around the feeling. Think of worry as a guest who has arrived unannounced. Resistance is throwing the door shut, trying to chase them out. Acceptance is simply noticing the guest, sitting down in the room, and offering them a seat. You don't have to kick them out or invite them to stay forever. You just acknowledge their presence gently. This act of non-resistance releases immense internal energy that was previously trapped in the struggle. When we stop resisting, the grip of worry begins to soften. The intensity does not vanish immediately, but the sharp edge of panic dulls. We create a gap between the emotional experience and our reactive response. In that space, this open acceptance, we find a profound sense of self-compassion. We recognize that it is natural to feel difficult things, and that experiencing those feelings is part of the human journey. This practice allows us to move beyond the cycle of suffering created by resistance. Instead of feeding the anxiety with our struggle against it, we offer it rest. We allow the feeling a moment to simply be, knowing that within this space, there is unconditional kindness. This open acceptance is not passive resignation. It is an active, gentle engagement with reality, transforming fear from an opponent into something that can be observed and gently held. Rest in this spaciousness. Allow yourself the grace of simply being, without needing to fix, change, or fight what is. Let the waves of feeling roll in and out, knowing that you are the calm water upon which they flow. This gentle release is where true peace begins to settle deep within you. Primary keywords: release worry, Buddhist acceptance, dealing with anxiety, open acceptance, letting go of fear, gentle meditation for sleep. Secondary keywords: anxiety relief, emotional acceptance, mindfulness practice, letting go of tension, spiritual wisdom, calm before sleep, inner peace, non-resistance. 20 tags: meditation for sleep, release worry, anxiety relief, open acceptance, Buddhist wisdom, dealing with anxiety, letting go of fear, emotional acceptance, mindfulness practice, calm before sleep, gentle meditation, inner peace, non-resistance, spiritual reflection, stress relief, deep rest, anxiety management, soothing sleep, self-compassion. 15 hashtags. Hashtag anxiety relief, hashtag mindfulness, hashtag Buddhist wisdom, hashtag open acceptance, hashtag letting go, hashtag meditation, hashtag calm, hashtag spiritual growth, hashtag stress relief, hashtag sleep aid, hashtag emotional wellness, hashtag self-compassion, hashtag mindfulness practice, hashtag inner peace, hashtag gentle wisdom. Feel the space between the thoughts. We have acknowledged the noise within, recognized the way worry settles in your chest, and learned that the mind is not the reality of the feeling. Now, we move into the practice of softening that grip. Worry is rarely just a thought. It is a physical presence. It manifests as a tightness in the shoulders, a knot in the stomach, or a subtle tremor beneath the skin. This tension is your body's response, an old habit of bracing against a perceived threat. When we hold on to worry, we are essentially tightening our grip on that internal discomfort, feeding the cycle of resistance. To release this weight, we begin by simply observing it without judgment. Imagine that the worry is a heavy stone resting in your awareness. Instead of trying to push the stone away or fight its presence, we grant it permission to simply be there. This is the practice of open acceptance. It doesn't mean you agree with the worry. It means you stop fighting the fact that the worry exists right now. Now, bring your attention gently to the areas where this tension resides. Perhaps it is in your jaw or the base of your neck. Notice the sensation of tightness, not as a problem to be solved, but as mere physical energy. Breathe into those areas, allowing the breath to flow softly over the knots. With each exhale, imagine that you are softening the edges of the tension, allowing the muscles to release their need to hold on. This is the act of letting go. Letting go is not an empty surrender. It is a conscious decision to stop expending energy fighting what is already happening. Think of your worry as a cloud drifting across the sky. You are not the cloud. You are the vast, clear expanse of the sky. The cloud passes through, and you remain untouched and whole. Allow yourself to witness the worry as a passing phenomenon, recognizing its impermanence. We practice non-resistance here. We stop trying to control the future or erase the past, because that is where resistance lives. Instead, we focus entirely on the present moment, the soft sensation of the breath entering and leaving your body. Anchor yourself in the tangible reality of this breath, which is always here and always now. Let the worries flow through you like water. They are waves and they rise and fall. When a wave arrives, instead of grabbing it or trying to stop it, we simply allow it to move across the surface. Feel the tension soften as you allow yourself to float upon this gentle current. Notice how the grip loosens. There is immense power in yielding, in releasing the need for everything to be fixed immediately. Allow the deep stillness that follows this surrender to settle into your bones. This spaciousness is not emptiness. It is rich, profound peace. It is the quiet space created when you stop trying to manage every feeling and simply allow yourself to rest within the flow of experience. You are not defined by the worry, but by the steady, calm awareness that holds all of it, the worry and the release in gentle balance. Rest now in this spaciousness. Allow yourself the grace of simply being, without needing to fix, change, or fight what is. Let the waves of feeling roll in and out, knowing that you are the calm water upon which they flow. This gentle release is where true peace begins to settle deep within you. Primary keywords: release worry, Buddhist acceptance, dealing with anxiety, open acceptance, letting go of fear, gentle meditation for sleep. Secondary keywords: anxiety relief, emotional acceptance, mindfulness practice, letting go of tension, spiritual wisdom, calm before sleep, inner peace, non-resistance. 20 tags: meditation for sleep, release worry, anxiety relief, open acceptance, Buddhist wisdom, dealing with anxiety, letting go of fear, emotional acceptance, mindfulness practice, calm before sleep, gentle meditation, inner peace, non-resistance, spiritual reflection, stress relief, deep rest, anxiety management, soothing sleep, self-compassion. 15 hashtags: hashtag anxiety relief, hashtag mindfulness, hashtag Buddhist wisdom, hashtag open acceptance, hashtag letting go, hashtag meditation, hashtag calm, hashtag spiritual growth, hashtag stress relief, hashtag sleep aid, hashtag emotional wellness, hashtag self-compassion, hashtag mindfulness practice, hashtag inner peace, hashtag gentle wisdom. We have found a way to release the grip of worry, and we have practiced the gentle art of open acceptance. Now, as we move into this final stage, we are going to settle into something deeper: resting in spaciousness. Spaciousness is not an empty void. It is the vast, quiet space within your awareness where all the frantic activity of the day can finally pause. Think of your mind right now, breathing in and out. Notice that even when you try to be still, there is still a flicker of mental activity. A memory, a plan, a lingering feeling. This flickering is normal. It is the natural hum of consciousness. Our practice isn't about silencing the mind entirely. It is about changing our relationship with that hum. Spaciousness is the awareness that exists behind the thoughts and feelings. When worry arrives, and it will, because worry is a familiar habit, instead of immediately grabbing onto it or trying to push it away, try to create a space between yourself and the feeling. Imagine you are sitting on the bank of a wide, still river. The worries, the anxieties, they are like the currents flowing past. They rush by, they are real, but they do not become you. You are the riverbank itself, still, solid, and unmoving. This is where we cultivate deep calm. We learn to inhabit that space. When a wave of tension rises, don't fight it or judge it as unwelcome. Simply notice its presence in your body. Feel the tightness in your chest, the knot in your stomach, the restless energy in your limbs. See these sensations not as problems to be solved, but as temporary visitors passing through your awareness. Allow them to exist within the spaciousness you have created. You are the space that holds them, and they are the momentary movement within it. This is the essence of non-resistance. When we stop resisting the feeling, when we stop fighting against the discomfort, we create room for peace to enter. The tension doesn't vanish instantly, but the grip of your reaction loosens. You move from being tossed by the emotion to being the quiet observer of the emotion. Breathe into this space. Let your breath become the anchor in this expansive awareness. With every inhale, draw in a sense of openness, allowing space to expand within your chest and your belly. With every exhale, release any remaining holding, any lingering effort, letting it soften and dissolve into the quiet. Feel the gentle rhythm moving through you. You are not striving for an absence of feeling. You are cultivating a depth of presence that allows feelings to flow without overwhelming you. Resting in spaciousness is about recognizing your inherent nature, which is calm, which is expansive, which is peace, and allowing that natural state to simply emerge. It is the deep, unshakable calm that resides beneath the surface of all temporary experience. This calm is not something you have to earn or achieve through effort. It is what you are already. As you settle deeper now, allow this spaciousness to envelop you completely. Let your awareness soften into the quiet expanse of the night. There is nothing left to do but simply be. You are held in this gentle peace, safe within the vastness of your own being. Rest now, enveloped by this deep and profound calm,